Yo, what's poppin' guys? Kaz here with another Genshin Impact video. And no, this is not my Hu Tao. I just want to give a huge shout out before I start this video to Blue Mortal, who has been so gracious. Let me use this account in order to test out Hu Tao. So there will be a Hu Tao showcase in the very near future, right? But today I'm going to be talking about her constellation versus the Staff of Homa from the current weapon banner, right? Which one should you be going for if you want maximum damage? How is your C1 going to change your playstyle, or you should even go for C2, right? Today I'm going to be attempting to answer all of these questions, so let's just get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to discuss is, of course, her C1 constellation here. So, as you can see, while in her Paramida Papilio state, which is basically the ability, her E ability, right? When you're in your E ability, her charged attacks do not consume stamina. Now this is very nice, right? This is a very nice constellation to have. Now it's not game changing, right? It's kind of similar to Xiao's ability where he gets an extra charge, right? This is going to make the character smoother to play. It's not going to like increase her damage by much at all, right? Maybe a little bit, right? But it's going to make her smoother to play. It means that you're going to be able to do more charge attacks, of course. It means you're going to be able to dodge more, right? Because you could dodge and use your stamina bar without having to worry about using less charge attacks. So it might affect, your composition and the way your team plays more. Because again, you don't have to, you could just dodge more, right? Which means you may, if you're wearing a shield before without at C1, right? You may be able to take that shield off if you're able to dodge the hits and not take them. So that's one thing to consider, right? It may change your team composition a bit because of course stamina is an issue. Same with Kaching, right? It's kind of similar to Kaching. She spams her charge attacks, and when I use Kaching, I'm always running out of stamina. That is a big issue with Kaching, and one of the reasons I don't like to play her. So this, if that's a big issue for you, right, running out of stamina, you like the way you really care a lot about how a character feels, right? You care about the way they feel and their gameplay. Then I would say C1 is absolutely a great thing to have, right? But it's not going to increase your DPS by a whole lot. So just keep that in mind. It's very nice, but not going to boost your damage by much, okay? Now, what will boost your damage is her C2, which is incredibly good, okay? So this right here increases the Blood Blossom damage by an amount equal to 10% of Hu Tao's max HP. This is nice. This by itself already is nice, okay? Because well, Blood Blossom is going to put, pyro damage on your enemies, and Hu Tao already scales with health, which means you're going to have a lot of health on her, which means your Blood Blossom is going to do a lot more damage, okay? 10% of a lot is still a good bit, okay? And then additionally, Spirit Smoother will also apply the Blood Blossom effect, which means her ultimate is going to also do it, which means you're going to have a more uptime on Blood Blossom, which means she can be doing a lot more DPS. It's nice, okay? This is a very nice constellation to have. I would consider this way better than her C1. Her C1 is nice to have, but it's not necessary. This, I'm not going to say it's necessary, right? I'm not going to say it's necessary. Like, you could absolutely play without it, but this is insanely good. This is a nice, I'd say a sizable damage spike, okay? A very sizable damage spike. But neither of these are as huge damage spikes as, well, the Staff of Homa, okay? Everyone knows the Staff of Homa is busted. Everyone knows it's an insane weapon, right? It's common knowledge at this point. Staff of Homa is absolutely crazy. Now, people, the good old theory crafters at, Hu Tao mains have calculated that Staff of Homa is anywhere from a 20% to a 30% DPS increase for Hu Tao. Just by using this weapon, you're going to increase your DPS by up to 30%. That's crazy. That's almost a third of like your damage just added on top of what you're already doing, right? It's absolutely crazy. The reason for this is because Hu Tao again scales with HP. This increases your HP by 20%, and then additionally provides an attack bonus based on 0.8% of wielder's max HP. So you're going to be doing more attack based, of course, on your HP. And then when your HP is less than half, your attack bonus is increased by an additional 1%, which means that if you have Hu Tao less than half HP, she's going to be hitting like a monster truck. She's going to be doing absolutely crazy damage. It outclasses everything else for Hu Tao. Outclasses 7 stack Jade Spirit, outclasses everything, right? Everything you'd imagine. Staff of Homa, best in slot in all situations for Hu Tao. But the question of this video is, should you be summoning for the Staff of Homa over her constellations, right? Now, honestly, that's a bit of a tricky question to answer, okay? I'm gonna be real with you guys. This really depends on how okay you are of taking risks and how many primo gems you have, right? So I'm gonna put it this way: if you have a lot of primo gems, right? Say you have enough primo gems, Hu Tao is the character you care about. She's your waifu. You want to go all in for her, get her maxed out. Then what I would consider doing is honestly, I would go for her C2, right? Her C2 is going to be a very nice damage spike because look, if you get her C2, you also have her C1 already. Her C1 is nice but not needed, right? And then her C2 is incredible. So you're going to get both of these, which is going to make her feel better and play better and hit harder, right? It's going to give you a better Hu Tao experience. And there's not as much risk involved because even if you just completely get unlucky, lose the 50-50 both times, well, you're still going to be guaranteed Hu Tao the next time, which means you're guaranteed at a certain point to get her to C2. If you have enough Primo Gems, it's guaranteed that you will get her there. Now, this may cost a lot of Primo Gems, right? But it's still a guarantee. Even if you just get her C1, her C1 is still solid, right? Her C1 is solid. But on the other hand, if you're a bit more of a risk taker, it's going to do the best for you, right? You're going to get the most damage increase, right, from getting the Staff of Homa. Staff of Homa, without a doubt, is going to be the quote-unquote best option for her, right? In an ideal world, if you could choose between Hu Tao C2 and Staff of Homa, I would absolutely take Staff of Homa any day over her C2, right? Any day. Any day at all, because it's so incredible on her, such a huge, massive just spike, right? It's crazy. I can't overstate how insane Staff of Homa is for Hu Tao, okay? It's incredible, but it's not guaranteed, right? You have a 75% chance on the weapon banner of pulling, one of one of the weapons from the banner, right? But there are two weapons, which means you have a 37.5% chance of pulling the Staff of Homa each time you go. And if you guys saw Tectone, he spent almost $2,000 before he got his first Staff of Homa. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't got $2,000 laying around. Okay, so here's another thing to consider, though, right? Again, if you're fine with taking the risk and you're okay with getting Wolf's Gravestone, then honestly, what I would do, right? What I would personally do, if I needed both Staff of Homa and Wolf's Gravestone, then I would get Hu Tao C0, and then I would pull on Weapon Banner and try to get Staff of Homa, but then be okay with Wolf's Gravestone if I got that, because if this is a scenario assuming I need both, right? If you are okay with both options, both the Wolf's Gravestone and the Staff of Homa, then 1,000,000% pull on the Weapon Banner, go for Staff of Homa. If not, you're still okay because Wolf's Gravestone is still good, right? Okay, so if you're that person where both of the weapons are good for you, then absolutely I would say go for the weapon banner. But if all you want is the Staff of Homa and you absolutely do not want or need a Wolf's Gravestone at all, right? You don't need it, you don't want it, then I would say go for Constellations, okay? If you only want the Staff of Homa, look, guys, there's a huge, huge chance you're not going to get it, right? The majority of the time, you're not going to get Staff Helmet. You have to be lucky to get it. You have to be lucky because you have a greater chance of getting Wolf's Gravestone or an off-banner weapon than you do of getting a Staff Helmet, right? The odds are stacked against you. You could spend almost $2,000 and still not get it, okay? Again, if you want both weapons on the banner, go for the banner. If you don't, if you only want Staff of Homa, go for Constellations. Go for C1 or C2, right? C2 is absolutely worth it. If you have the Primos and like Hu Tao enough to go for it, it's absolutely worth it, okay? Absolutely. So, I would say go for C2 if you can. If not, C1 is also good. But if you want both weapons, banner it is, right? I hope this helped you guys in making your decision about which you want to go, right? If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to help to the best of my abilities. But yeah, guys, I just want to give another thank you to BLUEMORTAL for allowing this to be possible. To even just look at how beautiful she is, right? Let's just take a moment to admire Hu Tao. She's gorgeous, right? Absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, guys, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Kaizerker out. Peace and booyah.